Very warm greetings to you as you join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuluko, and with me on today's episode is Christina Pius.
Hello, viewers.
How's your week going, and how is business going? We do hope that your dreams are being gradually fulfilled. We are also hopeful that when the time comes, you will pay appropriate taxes at the appropriate time. We begin today's episode of the program with the story of the official commissioning of the Federal Inland Revenue Service Training School located in Durumi in Abuja. The official commissioning was performed by the Coordinating Minister of the Economy and Federal Minister of Finance, Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. In attendance to give support were former chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Mr. Elias Mbam. Also in attendance was the chairman of the Finance Committee of the Federal House of Representatives and the person of Honorable Otumba Yomi Ogunusi. The acting executive chairman of the FIRS gave a brief background of the training school.
As an organization, Federal Inland Revenue Service places a lot of premium on capacity development because it is our belief that human resource is most important asset of an organization. Our hope is that sometime in the future, this place can become a tax academy, as we believe that this facility provides the necessary foundation of what we intend to achieve with the tax academy.
The FIRS training school is made up of 4 main blocks, including the training block comprising of a conference hall and 12 classrooms, an administrative block, a recreation block, and a residential block comprising 66 well-furnished rooms for resident trainees. Before the formal cutting of tapes, the coordinating minister of the economy used the opportunity to talk on the rebasing of the GDP of Nigeria, which was publicly presented to the world just the day before, and its implications for the tax economy.
We just celebrated the fact that Nigeria has now become the largest economy in Africa with 80 trillion naira of GDP or $509.9 billion. This makes us the 26th largest economy in the world and advances us on our goal to becoming one of the 20 largest economies. But I want to tell you that there's one piece of the news that is not so cheering. With the increase in GDP, all our revenue ratios have been recalculated. And as you know, our revenue to GDP ratio before was 20%, just about in the middle of emerging market economies, not as good as the 22% we're supposed to be. But now with this recalculation, our revenue to GDP ratio is 12%. And our non-oil revenue to GDP ratio is 4%. So that means that we look worse than before. Okay? So those who think we just want to have a large GDP to look good, it's not true because some of our ratios don't look so good. We must redouble our efforts to get back to the 20% at least that we were before, isn't it?
The Honorable Minister also praised staff and management of the FIRS for the work being done.
The directors, including coordinating directors and staff of FIRS, I want to applaud you for the work you're doing. I want to thank the acting chair for bringing this project to fruition. It's a very, very proud moment for us. I'm particularly pleased today because in the Global Partnership for Development Cooperation, an initiative of the UN and the OECD in which Nigeria is one of 3 co-chairs along with the UK and Indonesia. Nigeria is championing domestic resource mobilization for Africa, and I'm the chair of that initiative. And I've been able to use the work being done by the FIRS and the reforms we have initiated here as part of the example. I've talked about the need for capacity enhancement all over Africa. And this is one stone along the path that we are paving in that regard. I know that FIRS will live up to its mandate. You've been delivering for us. I just want you to do more. I hope that the inauguration of this facility will give you the strength and energy and ability. And also the news I delivered to you this morning about our tax revenue to GDP ratio will serve not as a deterrent, but as an incentive to do even more. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to express the sincere pleasure of the Federal Ministry of Finance and of His Excellency President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan on this occasion of the commissioning of the training facility of FIRS. Yeah, done. Beautiful. Thank you. Well, thank you. Glory be to God.
We have a training hall here. It has a boxing capacity of 400. Can seat 400 people. Apart from this, we have 12 lecture rooms, 4 on the ground floor, 8 on the first floor, and each of the lecture rooms can take 40 students.
Beautiful edifice.
Yes, indeed. Very beautiful.
Tax Matters spoke to some of the founding fathers of modern-day FIRS. How do you feel about today's commissioning?
I feel very, very proud. Capacity building is very, very important in any organization. Name it. Even the shoe polishers, they need to be trained. The tax officers need to be very well trained.
I feel very happy and very proud. It's a very steady progression in the right direction. With knowledge, you have all things, and this is a fountain of knowledge.
The need for development of human resources, and this is one of the bases for which we'll be able to train our own staffs, and even for those from other countries, part of Africa, can send their representatives to come here, at least under a very good atmosphere, to come and learn.
And from the National Assembly came this endorsement.
It will enhance capacity building. It will be opportunity for tax people to know that they have to continue to learn of what the tax reform is all about. Year in, year out, we change the rates, we change some of the reliefs. So this capacity building is something that is mandatory. And I can see this environment is really conducive for it. I think it's a very good one. I think the acting chairman is doing a good job.
And from the executors of the project.
Today is an occasion that I feel proud to be a member of management of FIRS. I feel proud because it's an achievement that will stand the test of time. It's an achievement that borders on capacity building. And as the minister said, human resource is the most important asset of any organization. Therefore, today's occasion tells me that yes, in the future we shall be self-independent. We shall have very capable staff that are well trained, well motivated because of this facility. Not to forget that we have capable training facilitators in the service and outside that we are going to engage. And with the creation of a training department, I can assure you that what we are going to have are staff that will reach the optimum in terms of service delivery to customers. And who are the customers? Our taxpayers.
I'm happy. I'm happy because our staff will now be trained and retrained at a minimal cost, which can accommodate 66 participants at a time. We intend to be running training and courses on daily basis here. Come back next 2-3 years, you'll see a different transformed FIRS staff when it comes to technical aspect of taxation.
Later in a chat with News Hands, the coordinating minister reaffirmed her confidence in the FIRS.
I not only have confidence, I expect them to move us forward. You have enough people with experience coupled with some young people that you have brought on board, and I think that combination is a very good one. I think what we need to do better is communication. We need to communicate more with the Nigerian public, what they are gaining from taxation. If people do not feel that the tax is doing anything for them, then they will not be eager.
Every day, my people they for work. Some they do office work. Some get it them own business. So all of them want good road, constant power for better life. Whether now office work, oh yeah, pay your tax. Whether now your own business, oh pay your tax. If you want a better life, oh pay your tax. Now your civic responsibility, pay your tax. Better soup, now money cook oh yes. Nothing goes for nothing, my brother. If you want potable water, security and hospital for make life jolly.
That's right. Good roads, good hospitals, portable water, adequate security all come from taxpayers' money. Play your part in making Nigeria great. Everybody, small scale, big companies, entrepreneurs, do the right thing. Pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
You know, Christina, talking about communicating the benefits of tax payment to the general public, if you ask me, the FIRS is doing pretty well.
Yes, they're doing very well, especially with our program, Tax Matters.
Yes, Tax Matters on the move. And that leads us to our next story, which is about engaging the public. Christina, it's your story.
On Thursday, 20th of March 2014, the Onikon Lagos and Broad Street Lagos micro and small tax offices of the FIRS organized a sensitization workshop for travel agents. The workshop was organized to address areas of conflict between the tax authorities and travel agents, especially the determination of what constitutes revenue for the travel agents in the process of determination of tax liabilities.
There is a lot of problems between you and us as regards to tax payments. And frankly, what causes the problem is usually on what basis are you taxing us? Especially when it comes to VAT and withholding taxes. And there have been clamor from many of you that why should we pay VAT? The VAT has been deducted. They have deducted withholding taxes. I know that basically what causes problem is identifying what is revenue. Basically, we can analyze the cash flows of travel agencies into three parts. I want us to know one thing. There is a distinction between your cash inflow and your revenue. From my observations in the field, from your side and sometimes from our own officers, there is always an error of judgment to what constitutes the inflow and what constitutes the revenue. For your inflow, receipts from sales of air tickets on behalf of airlines is an inflow of cash. The commission earned on sales of air tickets is an inflow. We will still come to that commission earned. The receipts from tour operations, the monies collected on air tickets belongs to the airlines. They are not yours. You are just a conduit pipe. For each ticket sold, you earn a commission. I am not in your industry, but I know two things may happen. It is either you deduct your commission up front or the airline reimburses. No matter what the situation is, the result is expected to be the same. In your own hands, it is only the commission you earn that is taxable. Now, we must carefully consider two things arising from your commission: the withholding tax and the VAT. I must stress here, you know that for every ticket that is sold, there is a VAT arising, VAT or ticket sales. Many travel agencies confuse this VAT with the VAT on their commission. The VAT on ticket sales is the liability of the airlines. It is not the liability of the agents.
My business is, whatever your commission is, 5% of that should be added to your commission by your airline and paid over to you. And when you charge that VAT, it must be remitted within 21 days. Another source of confusion is the withholding tax. Now, when the airlines pay you your commission, they have a duty to deduct withholding tax from your commission. And they do that because they want to fulfill their own obligations. Because it does not affect them pecuniarily. The one that affects them pecuniarily, they don't do, which is adding VAT to your own commission. That withholding tax is an advance payment of income tax for your company, which you use to offset your tax liability at the end of the year.
With regards to tour operators who arrange or package tours to holiday destinations,
there can be niggling issues with hotel accommodation. You collect in naira, you remit in foreign exchange. The payments may even attract commission from the banks. Those commissions are allowable expenses for you in your accounts. These are some of the things you can take off using normal accounting procedures. Now, when the bank charges you commission, you will now see again another charge. They say it is VAT. Don't you see it in your bank statements? They say this is VAT. Another bank charges. That VAT is an allowable expense for you in your accounts, but you cannot use it to reduce the VAT in your commission. It cannot be used as input VAT. The VAT you have suffered is the bank now billing you for the service they have rendered for you. Services under VAT, services do not have input VAT. It's only output VAT. Services don't have input VAT. Because what we call VAT is value added tax. You take them off your profit and loss accounts, but you cannot charge them as inputs into your VAT to reduce the VAT liability you are remitting to FIRS.
Mr. Rebajo's lecture was well received and immediately elicited a robust question and answer session.
About the commission you say you'll be responding, hardly a travel agency can exhaust the withholding tax charged in a year, despite the fact that the receipt were not given in time. Then if you say we refund, we have excess this year, another year will come, more excess, another year will come, more excess. When is the commission going to be refunded?
I don't know whether it relates to you, but it covers about 80 to 90% of the major conflicts. You have your withholding tax that was deducted this year. Especially now, since 2005, that we now have access, 2007, that we have access to the web portal, that we can see your payments electronically. Your withholding tax was paid in January, and maybe you have access to the receipts, and you are in September, and you bring it, and you wanted to offset your income tax for last year. It is happening a lot now. It will not be allowed. Because taxation is on preceding year basis. The income tax you pay this year for companies, the income tax you pay this year is on your income you earned last year. So the withholding tax that you collect for this year will only be used for next year. From Jebutu and Co., hardly can a travel agency exhaust the withholding tax refunded. This refrain I have heard severally, and I always tell them, is your account showing it? And the simplest test for us to reconcile it. Okay, give me your bank statements for the preceding period. Give me copies of your bank statements for the preceding period. Let us reconcile. When the bank statement is brought, you now see from the statement that, from that bank statement, you now see that the company has other bank accounts. So what you claim, can you substantiate it? Yes, you can. Your withholding tax can be more than your tax liability. We do know that here. And we do see companies where it happens. But we have to prove it. And we do grant it. We allow it. Yes. But the onus is on you. Because if you don't give us the evidence, we cannot accept your claim.
My question is on multiple taxation. I think that when we are charged withholding tax upfront, that tax is taken. Now, the VAT that's also part of what we are paying is there. And then we are also paying the company tax. We are paying the personal income tax. When our staff, a member of staff is paid, that person is also requested to pay personal income tax. All these taxes are taken from the same commission we've earned. And my problem also is that it's not what you see as our commission from the airline, that's actually what we have earned. Because sometimes we are forced to, drop off certain things, part of our commission. And then my question again is, what about zero commission? When the airline does not pay commission at all, how do we now talk about withholding tax and VAT? Thank you.
I've heard many of us talking about why VAT or my commission and this and that. You see, what is VAT? Value added tax. Unless you're not adding value to the economy, whatever service you render is part of the GDP, isn't it? Yeah, and you're talking about now tax to GDP ratio. So and that's part of the measurements of an economy. What is our tax to GDP ratio? So this is there are all metrics that we need to have. We are adding value, and it should be happy that you are adding value to the GDP. Then somebody mentioned about the multiple taxation. You see, there are different tax jurisdictions, some federal, some state, some local government. So, and these are, so no local government will charge you income tax to a company. No local government will charge you VAT. So there are different jurisdictions. They are not multiple. You can talk about multiple taxation where you are charged VAT by federal, by state, and local government. There are different taxes and levies as the laws provide for. It's not multiple. The pay as you earn, your staff has earned that income. It's not yours. Even though you paid it, just like your commission, you earned it. So your staff have earned it, and that's income in his hands. So on that income, he or she has to pay personal income tax on that income you are paid.
At the end of it all, there is evidence that indeed communication took place.
Okay, dear colleagues, I hope now we're all better informed. So there are two VATs. One is on the ticket paid by the airline, and the second one, which we're not aware of, is the one that is based on our commission or on our service charge. I hope you all understand that, because we have to relate to our members who are not here. And I wanted to mention what you already said. But the Bible says, as we all know, all things are passed away and we have become new. So we are a new creation and we are born again. So now that you've educated us, we will now look at it and we will comply because we are a new being.
Actually, the Bible also says God requires that which is past. Am I right?
So where do you stand? That all things passed away, or that God requires those things that have passed away? Where do you stand? Remember that ignorance of the law is no excuse. So go out there. If you don't have taxpayer identification number, go to the nearest FIRS office, acquire your thing, and begin to pay your taxes as and when due. You will be the better for it. This country will be the better for it. So thank you for watching, and we ask you to join us again next week on this same station, same day of the week, same time of the day. From Christina.
Thank you for watching, and bye for now.
Have a blessed week ahead.